So here in lesson 9.3, we've done the entries to the purchases journal. Now we're going to turn around and post them to our accounts payable ledger, our subsidiary or subledger, and our general ledger. Again, the subsidiary ledger has all those different vendor accounts in it. All right. And we're also going to be posting just one total rather than many individual accounts. We're going to check that out in a moment here. All right. So here we go. Posting from a purchases journal to an accounts payable ledger. Okay. All right. So, and again, the frequency of posting helps ensure that you're going to pay your vendors on time. I said this in I think the last section. Don't mess around with your vendors. They are a big part of the process and success of your company. A company that treats their vendors well by starting basically just by communicating and paying them off on time shows that they're a priority. If you're late, you're not communicating, and if there's issues, you're not letting them know, and if you're late, you're not making arrangements to make some sort of options or whatever, then the vendor after a while is going to say, let's fire that customer of ours. They're not worth dealing with. And some vendors that are smart will fire customers that are causing them to lose profitability, or they're not getting their money from there. It's just a pain. All right. Having one more customer for them isn't always the best thing. See, they have a good relationship with your vendors. If you want to start your own business, your vendors are critical. Okay. All right. And if you're late on payment again, they can stop shipment on other stuff coming down the pike and say, in the future, it's going to be cash on delivery. We're not shipping on terms. So as soon as that stuff hits your dock, we want a check from the guy that's delivering it. That's really awkward. Okay. But there's all kinds of reasons and bad things can happen if you don't pay them on time. So here we go. We're posting from the purchases journal to our accounts payable ledger. So we have the 6th here, the date. Remember, we set up wind lighting before. Post reference number, page 11 of the purchases journal. And we're going to put the credit amount in there at the new purchases, the accounts payable. And after it's all said and done, we have a new balance. We can only have a credit balance in our accounts payable ledger. And we're going to have 362650, which is our new balance, 2544 plus 1,082.50. Okay, we're going to do that for each one of the transactions in there for our subsidiary ledger or our accounts payable ledger. Okay, so we add the amount and total it there. Okay, then we go back. Should have put this in earlier. We go back to our purchases ledger post reference. We put the number of the vendor to 60. That's the number of the vendor. That is not the accounts payable general ledger number. And again, we could have used any numbering system to track our vendors. That's very important to understand. Okay. Totaling and ruling a purchases journal. So we've posted, we're going to post all these individual transactions to our subsidiary ledger to all of our vendors. We're assuming that there's going to be post reference numbers in here after we post those all, starting with wind lighting, that one we just did. Looks like they haven't done that yet. Now we get to the end of the month, and now we're going to total that amount. Single rule, put the date, the word total, the total column. We're going to total that, total amount, double rule. So all of our purchases were 21,000 plus change for all of the vendors that we bought stuff from in our special journal called a purchases journal. Okay. All right. Okay. And again, this helps save time and not posting individual amounts to the general ledger. Well, we did this before in previous chapters, posting column totals from our general ledger like sales and cash debit and credit at the end of the month as one big batched, if you like, transaction. Okay. All right. Reduce the time required. Yes, I just had to read that in my notes. Okay, so now we're posting to our column totals. This is pretty straightforward. It's kind of stuff we've done before. We're posting our column totals Purchases, again, purchases DR, debit. On the 30th, page 11 of the purchases journal, 21,587 debit for purchases. We had a previous, looks like we had something from the cash payments. We bought $480 sometime during the month with cash for items to be held for merchandise sale. Got a new balance. Now we're going to add 21,000 to our previous purchases amount of 215 to come up with 236,000 plus change in our purchases account. That's the debit side. We go back to our column total. In parentheses, we put the, again, I'm getting ahead of myself, P11, purchases, page number. The amount of the debit or credit, here we're putting it down in the accounts payable. Up here, we're putting it into purchases. So we're putting in putting in one transaction into two different general ledger accounts at the same time. Purchases debit, accounts payable credit. Increase to purchases, debit, increase to accounts payable credit. New balance for purchases, new balance for accounts payable. All right. Put the account number 510 and the account number 210. 510 for purchases, 5110 for purchases, 2110 for accounts payable. Okay. Review. Why should a business frequently post to the purchase journal the accounts payable ledger? Because you want to keep your vendors happy so you pay them on time. Very important. Why is it important to record a posting reference in the accounts payable ledger? It's an audit trail, and also you don't duplicate stuff. Last thing you want to do is start double posting stuff to either your general journal, your general ledger or your subsidiary ledger. So I just want to put a post reference back in there. Again, with subsidiary ledger, it was the vendor number. With the general ledger, it was the account number when we posted those column totals. Why is the vendor number written in the post reference column of the purchases journal? To show that it's been posted. Quite simply. All right. So let's go to MindTap 9.3. Here we go. MindTap 9.3 working papers. La-di-da. All right. The October purchases transactions for Golden Fabrics have been journalized. Total the purchases journal. Okay. So I'm going to say the end of the month, October 31, total, step 2. What are they total? Let's get a new worksheet up here. This is like my, wait a second, Reardon, what are you doing? Here we go. This is like my adding machine. So we've got 3252 plus 532 plus 866. My 3 entries to my purchases journal, 4650. Okay, 4650. Total the purchases journal. Do you agree with that? I liked it. Okay, we're good. We've totaled it. The date, the word total. We don't have anything down here yet. We haven't posted anything yet. 4650. That looks good. Great step 1. We're good? We're good. Next step. Post each line from the purchase journal to the accounts payable ledger, the subsidiary ledger. Okay. Pacific Supply, October 2nd. We're going to go to the Pacific Supply vendor for the 2nd. And we're going to say a credit of 3252. Actually, I should say purchases journal 10, right? P10. 3252 credit. Previous balance was 925.65 equals 925.65 plus an additional amount we now owe them of 3252. We now owe them 4177.65. Kind of double checking. Again, don't always depend on your math in your head stuff. 4177.65. They are vendor number 230, and my last step is to put 230 in the post-reference column. All right, there's Pacific Supply. How about Coastal Company? October 7th, my date. Post-reference again is Purchases Journal 10, P10. Credit amount of 532. New balance is equals 1698.88 plus 532, 2230.88. Double check that. I'm just psycho about being wrong here. And they are vendor 210. Back to my purchases journal posted as vendor 210, post reference. Yeatman Designs, third one. Date is the 11th. Purchase journal 10. Credit of 866. New balance will be equals 877 plus 866. Previous balance 877. New purchase of 866. 1743 is my new balance. Post back with vendor number 250 to my purchases journal. Okay. Woo-wee. Okay, there's that. I just posted to my subsidiary ledger. Right on. Great, step 2. How did I do? Nailed it. All right, next step. Post the general ledger. All right, so here we go. We've got 4650. We're going to post a debit to purchases on the 31st. Post reference P10. Debit. Total amount of 4650. New balance is going to be, previous balance is 89,478.25. New debit, new purchases of 4650. 89,478.25 plus 4650. A new balance is 94,128. Whoops. 94,128.45. Excuse me. 94,128.25. Okay, I think I know where we left off. We left off with posting to the purchases account. All right. Then we need to go back after posting to purchases and put our cross-reference or our posting item here in our account number 5110 underneath the column total. 5110, we just posted that to purchases. We're done with purchases. We're done with the debit side. But now, of course, we need to do the credit side, which is accounts payable. On the 31st, coming from Journal P10, we're going to have a credit of 4650 to accounts payable. I got to admit, when I do these, I'm always psycho. I'm just going to mess up. 6133.53 plus our previous balance credit, 6133.53 plus 4650. New balance 783.53. Forget to go back. Put the account number underneath the column to show that that's posted. So we've posted the debit to purchases. We've posted the credit to accounts payable. I'm going to check purchases one more time. Debit, credit, double check my work. That looks good. Great final step. Two out of two. I nailed it. Yeah. Save and continue. And you will now do the on your own. All right. Take care. And if you have any questions on this unit, let me know. Goodbye.